All right, we will begin our meeting. I'm going to turn it over to our wardens, Michelle Holmes and Walt Snyder, and we will get going. If you have questions throughout the presentation meeting that come up for you, that phone number will be on every slide of the TV. You can text it, and then we will answer your questions. If you want them to remain anonymous or if you want to ask them during the Q&A, that's fine too. But I will turn it over to them. Except that is my personal cell phone number. So if you want to Venmo me, that is fine as well.
Hello, hello. Okay, Ella's our clerk, Terry and Nancy are the tellers. I think we have established a quorum. It's a very good turnout. I figured anything around 12 was a quorum. I seat mostly 25 people on Sundays. Okay, we have a slate. And we don't have a lot of choices. Oh, there we go. There's our slate. We'd like to elect Sharon Kozlowski as a warden. And for vestry, both Nancy and Heather have gracefully accepted nominations. And we have 2 openings and 2 nominees. Delegate to the convention is Nancy Ramsey, and an alternate is Terry Sensak. And I think on the ballot there's spaces on each vote to have a write-in if there's somebody special you would like to be considered. So how about writing implements? Oh, you have them? Okay. So you might as well go right ahead and do your voting now. Take a few minutes to vote. So now we're going to take a few minutes to go over the annual report. And the first part was the rector's report.
Yes, I will just highlight a few things on behalf of our lovely rector. In her report that you can read, she made a special note about using our OnRealm software more intensively this year. So OnRealm is something that we have used mostly internally as our church database. It does our financials, it's how we do our bookkeeping, it's how folks are able to donate online. But it also serves as a church directory for the community. So you can go online to OnRealm. You will be getting an email invitation later this month if you don't have an account already. And that email will invite you to create an account on OnRealm and allow you to opt in to the church directory. So that way, if you're looking for someone's phone number or email address, you don't have to go through me to get that information. You can look right on that directory. It'll also kind of serve as a calendar with events that are coming up, our fundraisers. We do ticket sales through OnRealm. That's a way to update your birthday, your anniversary date, your sacramental information if you need access to that as well. So that will just be a way this year for us to kind of stay more connected, allow one another to connect with each other in that way. But you can read her full report there. And I will just transition right into mine while I am up here. We had a record-breaking amount of volunteers this year step foot into our gardens. Thank you. Over 500 of them from high schools and universities and employee groups. And so all of the transformation, a little bit of which I wrote about in my report, so much of that, the groundwork was laid by all of these people that came before us. And this year with this big volunteer push, we were able to make some really big change happen in our garden spaces. So we are going to keep that momentum going into 2024. Pump the brakes a little bit so I don't have to take as long of a nap. But it will be great to have people back in our gardens in the spring. We have taken transitions as a community with Food Shelf in stride. I hope that changes to our volunteer sign up for Food Shelf in 2024 will make it easier for people to just drop in on a Wednesday morning and see what we're about, see what that ministry involves. I know Dave was able to just drop in on a Wednesday that he was free, and hopefully it was an easy process to jump in and lend a hand. And that's kind of what I'm keeping as my little motto in the back of my mind this year, is making connections with one another, that people are excited to be engaged with us, that they want to come and serve, they want to be involved. We can dive deeper as a community in connecting with our neighborhood, with our neighbors, with one another, with people that are coming to visit and serve with us. And that's just very exciting to me in 2024. So yes, record number of garden volunteers. We have fully transitioned our Food Shelf ministry to be compliant with FoodLink's standards that they asked us to comply with. So we have been just taking that step by step as we go. But overall, 2023 was a wonderful year, and I'm very excited to see what 2024 has in store for us. So I will turn it back over to our wardens.
If you look in the annual report, Walt and I mostly thought about what were highlights to us rather than what each month the vestry and the goings on for each month. We thought about what were highlights. But we did attend all the vestry meetings. Always we voted on budget or money spent or anything new coming up. We helped Cindy in any way we could if she asked. And you can read our highlights in here. Most of mine are with the garden and the Saturday morning farm stands. And one thing that I would like to add, and with being in church every Sunday, that's the huge highlight to me. But the one thing I'd really like to add is that we're working on a 5-year strategy. And we're working on it in the vestry and as wardens. And we did a sampling of words, and we picked words that we thought were very important to our church. And I think there were maybe 5 top ones, Maria. And then we said we're going to get, as vestry and wardens, we're going to get in touch with our whole community and discuss it with them. So we each have about 4 or 5 names that we're going to email or call or talk to in church. And we're going to discuss these 5 words and see if you agree with us, if they're important to the church, and get your input. And based on that, we'll sit down as a group and try to put a 5-year strategy together. And then we can do some, some closer things for what year 1 is about and what year 2 is about, some tactics once you have a strategy. And Walt, would you like to add?
I think you did a great job, but I really feel blessed to be here. To let you know, this church has a lot of talent, and it's really well organized. So volunteering is extremely easy in my mind, but you can make it what you like. And this place is it's been another year of a place to grow spiritually, socially, and through the community. So nothing but good things to say from the warden's perspective here, and looking forward to the new year. Thank you.
And another thing is, I've been in a few churches, but I never was in a church that allowed me to serve. And this church gives me ample opportunity to serve. And it's such a blessing to be able to serve. And one of the highlights I forgot was farm stand and Walt playing the guitar and singing. Who has entertainment at their farm stand? So, think we're ready to count the vote, to reveal the vote? Were there questions? Oh, okay. The universe. That's wonderful. Okay. The slate was approved unanimously, so Sharon is a warden, a co-warden, and I'm off, but I will be the treasurer next year. And Heather, welcome to the vestry. and Nancy, welcome to the vestry. Wonderful additions.
All right. Thank you. I will take care of our last 2 little sections quick. Just some acknowledgments. Michelle was very casual about announcing the end of her term and moving into the treasurer role. But Michelle, thank you so much for your time as warden. You have been such a wonderful leader to us. And the treasurer role that Michelle is filling is one we have been trying to fill on our vestry for several years. So we are very gracious to her for moving into that role. Also rolling off of vestry is Samantha Glarner. So Sam, if you're watching, thank you so much for your time on vestry. We appreciate you so much and the work that you have done during your 3-year term. So now is the time. No, there we go. We're going to move into Q&A. I don't believe I have received any online questions, but are there questions in the room that people are curious about? Anything about the past year, about staff vestry, what we're looking forward to in 2024, any of the sort? Don't be shy.
I just had a question. The vestry coming to us, like calling us and asking how we reflect on those words, is that different than the email that we got about what keeps us coming to St. Mark's and St. John's, or is that one?
It is one thing.
Okay.
It is one thing to think about. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good thing to highlight. So in the newsletter you get every week, there has been just a little blurb to let you know that someone from vestry will probably be reaching out to you to ask some questions about what keeps you coming to SMSJ, what are your highlights of being part of this community, and all of that coincides with that 5-year kind of strategic plan that Michelle was talking about. So doesn't make great sense to plan without having the input of the people that we're working to plan for and with. So that information is going to help us greatly to just kind of move our community along over the next few years. So yes, as you receive that email or that phone call or that text, be as open and transparent as you hope to be, as you'd like to be. That will help us greatly as we look forward and move forward together. Other questions? Yes. Thank you. You might have seen the little announcement in your bulletin. Pastor Cindy is feeling much better, but she has decided to take some sabbatical time. So typically in a church, a priest is supposed to get a sabbatical every 5 years, and that hasn't happened for her in a while. So while it's never happened. Right. Right, not good. So, in order to give her some of that sabbatical time and rest, she's extending her leave until the end of February. So in that time, Reverend Julie will be with us, Reverend Gary Schindler will be with us, and I will just continue my time of covering as needed for all the things here. So yes, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you know where to find me, you know how to find me. But we're moving along, all is well.
Office tasks during this time,
Thank you.
please reach out. I'm sure I would volunteer. I'm sure tons of other people would love to come and help you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you. And I know we are not Highmark Stadium, but if you want to volunteer to shovel, I can't pay you $20 an hour, but it would make getting to Sunday morning church a lot easier if we had some shovelers. So be on the lookout for those text messages as well. Other questions? Comments, concerns for the good of the order?
You're going to be running a pancake supper that's coming up soon.
Oh, we are. I should talk about
Yeah,
that.
so I wanted you to talk about it and maybe put out a sign-up sheet for stuff.
That is great. Yes, good thing Heather's here, because otherwise I'd lose my mind. We are bringing back the Shrove Tuesday pancake dinner before Ash Wednesday, which is so exciting. So we will have a sign-up list out here next week. We'll need some pancake flippers, we'll need some setup crew, some cleanup crew, but it's just gonna be a fun time to be together and make pancakes and eat pancakes. I've invited the Freedom Scholars community as well to join us, so hopefully they'll be able to stick around too, and that is February 13th, right before Valentine's Day, because Ash Wednesday falls on Valentine's Day. I know. I know, weird timing in our calendar. But yeah, so we're going to have pancake dinner. I'll have a sign-up sheet, and that will be a lovely time of community to gather together. And on Ash Wednesday, speaking of, we were going to have 2 times for the distribution of ashes, one at 8 a.m. to hit you on your way to work if you want to stop here on the way, and then one at noon if you want to come at lunch. So that will be, we'll have that posted, but that'll be an opportunity for you to gather as we do ashes. Other questions? Comments? Thank you. I appreciate it. If you, in the newsletter that went out on Friday, it's also on Facebook and the website, it'll open in a digital magazine format, so you can kind of click through like it's, a magazine online, and it's an easy way to share it with people outside the community. So please do that. Pass the word along. We've got good stuff going and more good stuff to come, so definitely share with your folks and your circles. All right. Is that going to be meeting adjourned? Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for staying. We appreciate it. Thank you to our new vestry members. And we will see you next week. Of course. Thank you.